it's Victoria, and I'm delighted to be joined by the wonderful Christian Schofield from British Shooting for this month's mini masterclass. And we're going to be diving into the British Shooting Talent Pathway and shooting for your country. So, Christian, thank you so much for joining me. It would be great if we could just start off with you just telling us a little bit more about your role at British Shooting and what you do.
Well, firstly, Victoria, it's a real pleasure to join you and the ladies of the Chelsea Bun Club. But,
thank you.
What I do is I'm the Talent Pathway Coordinator for British Shooting. And what that involves is looking at the programmes that we run and recruiting people to those programmes. So there's two parts to the Talent Pathway. There's the performance part, which is the very much higher end, the elite shooters. And then the talent part of the pathway, which is a responsibility of mine with my boss, Dean Lee.
Fantastic. So the pathway then. So a few of our lovely members are on the pathway, and I'm sure so many people watching this have heard of it. So it's hugely successful and it's a really, really great initiative. Could you just tell us about just more about it and what it entails, please?
Yeah, of course. But the aim of the pathway is to help you develop to be the best that you can be. So you don't have to start at the bottom and work your way up to the top. Some people might get in at the wrong level, and for them it's seemingly at the right level at the moment, and then they think, well, this is not quite right. I need to take a break, come back in at a lower level, or indeed miss a level and go straight on to something higher. So our aim is to help you get to where you want to go to achieve your maximum potential. So at the start of the journey, we really will be teaching the basics or helping you learn the basics. So that there will be a bit of instruction in there to showing you how you might do it. But we like to use more guided discovery, so you could find your own unique solution to a problem. It's to show you where the easiest path might be, but you definitely choose the path. You're responsible for your own training and the pace that you go at. We will encourage and explain, but it's not too much instruction once you've moved off the first level. The pathway's had incredible success only because the people who are in the pathway have had incredible success. If we have helped them in that journey, then all well and good. What we try to be is helpful and not a hindrance, but it is the athlete that wins the trophy, not the organisation.
I love just how much kind of flexibility there is, first and foremost, like you just said, so that people can kind of start somewhere, and if it's not right, they can kind of go back a stage. And I like the fact, I can't remember the term that you use now, but basically the fact that you're not saying do this, this, and this, and there's room for people to kind of try different things out and kind of shoot their way, which I think is really important, actually. So what kind of commitment is needed, I guess, kind of time-wise and money-wise, in order to kind of progress on the pathway? So for those ladies that just don't know anything at all about it, what kind of time and money commitment is there?
Okay, I break it down into three C's. There's capability, commitment, and cash.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really blunt way of looking at it. You need all three, and without a proportion of all three, you're never really going to realise your full potential. The commitment, let's assume, that you want to do it. The capability end of the thing, you can go an awful long way with quite, not huge amounts of capability. There's this thing about people being talented. It's more to do with hard work, and so you will know how much work you have to put in, because you're the one that's deciding what your development goals are. So let's explain that. So to very quick rundown of goal setting, because it will help you.
Very important.
For me, there are three types of goals. There's the outcome goal, where you want to win a competition, you want to shoot for Great Britain. And then we break that down into, okay, that's what you want to do, but what level of performance do you need to achieve that outcome goal? And so it might be, if you've got to shoot 113 out of 125, you can break that down and see that you're going to be having to shoot 22, 23 in the 5 lines that you're shooting to make that sort of score. So you can then look at your performance versus the performance that you need, and see in terms of numbers where you're not meeting that performance. You then break it down further and say, okay, well, why am I dropping those targets? Is it one particular station on ski that I'm not very good at, or in trap, am I not prepared for my first round and I drop all of the targets in the first round? So you can then develop process goals. Do I need to develop my routine? Do I need to develop the way I'm standing because I'm missing a certain type of target? And so from the process goals, when you've got a list of what you need to work on, you'll then be able to work out how much time you need to devote to those things. And so there is a logical process that you can use. But top athletes in any sport, and a lot of work's being done on this, and so I'm doing, to reach the very top, are doing 22 hours plus a week.
Right, gosh.
Now, that's not all out there shooting necessarily. That might be a little bit of strength and conditioning. It might be a little bit of mental work. 15 minutes of dry mounting before you do your job in the morning, or when you come back from work. You might be able to do those sort of things that would help.
I'm very goal driven for those people that know me. So to kind of have that kind of dissecting your performance down to things like you said about, like if you're consistently missing on, like station 3 or something, and kind of looking for ways to, kind of close any loops and gaps. And yeah, I just love that. Yeah, that's excellent. That's right up my street. Okay, so could you just quickly tell us what kind of characteristics you think people need to have in order to become like an elite shooter?
I think that insatiable desire.
Brilliant.
A real burning desire to do it, because when you've not shot quite as well as you want to, and it's the third time in a row and you're having a little bit of a slump, to be able to pull yourself out of that, it can only come from within. So it's having that intrinsic, that motivation from within yourself, and that's the insatiable desire. And linked with that is what I've sort of touched on, sort of two things in things: resilience. So when you are down, you climb back up. The old Rocky Balboa thing. One of the big things is, never mind the technical aspects of it, because I think that when we say that shooting at the sort of the elite level is much more mental. You've done all the technical stuff. It's not the technicalities that are going to let you down. It may manifest itself as a technical error that you've made, but it's probably been caused by a mental lapse that you see a technical error that's developed. And so it's being able to cope and thrive in competition, whether you're anxious or not. It's accepting that you're going to be on the big stage. And nobody can really prepare you. It's like some moon landings. You can do as many rehearsals as you want, but until you've actually stood on a big competition stage for the first time, or British Grand Prix or selection shoot, and then finally the Olympics, each time is going to be that hurdle to go. And so that's why sometimes they say in some sports that people don't win on the first Olympics, because they've got to experience the happiness, and then they come back and then they're able to do it. Of course, there are plenty of people who've proved that wrong, who just lock up and shoot, and away they go.
Amazing. So obviously pressure is a huge one, and I suffer from, when I've got a load of people watching me and everyone goes quiet, I'm just a bit like, oh god, and get a bit of kind of performance anxiety. So is that something that's is that kind of like mental coaching and helping, is that included within the pathway, like you have specialists to help with that?
Yeah, in sort of the talent part of the pathway, we don't have specific psychologist interventions. We can help you find a sports psychologist who you work with.
We know a very good one actually, who did a video with us about sports psychology, Matt Cullen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
he's on the pathway. Yeah,
he is. Yeah,
great guy.
Great guy. Yeah. So we can find people like Matt who might help you, and Paul Hughes, as I say, our head psychologist, will point people in the right direction. The coaching team are all aware of the things that you need at the basic level. So right at the very start, we look at how you approach, how you warm up for a how you get the best version of you stood on peg one to call whatever peg you start on, to call for that target. And so the mental and the technical for us are never separated. If you've got a specific thing because you are, you've got somatic anxiety, this somatic things are coming out, so you actually feel physically sick when you go onto a line. Some people find that actually, I'm in the right state of mind, I'm ready to go, ready to rock and roll. So it's your own individual thing to do. But all the sports sciences, we try to things like nutrition, helping you to concentrate, how you sleep. It's very important, and a good night's sleep is absolutely vital. So rest and recuperation after a round is very, very important. So you can't separate any of the sports sciences away from the technical aspects of shooting. If you just concentrate on how much lead you give a certain target or something, then that's not the whole picture. So all our coaches look at the thing in around the whole picture.
So do you have any final thoughts for women who are considering finding out more about the talent pathway, or just kind of, taking the next step and kind of getting their eyes kind of focused on, the journey into competitive shooting?
Yeah, we're always looking for people. People can join at any stage, any time during the year. We start in March and go through to October. We are now looking for people. I'm just about to put the dates of the talent identification days on the website, so if people look, they contact me anyway. I'll send them an email with the dates on it. And we will be holding at Griffin Lloyd, Edge Hill. We've got Skeet, Ed Barker and the crowd, and John Offord, Anita and Katie Paulson are running Skeet and Trap at Hampstead. Alan Warren does some stuff at Dartford and at Dubridge, which is a great Skeet. So all of these will have a talent identification day. In fact, we'll concentrate a lot of it at Hampstead. So you might end up training at a different place, but the talent day will be held at Hampstead. That's going to be in November. So the talent identification day, what we're really looking for is potential. And so some of the things that I've said that you recorded now are that sort of potential. But it's the desire.
You can't teach that, can you?
If you we're not going to send you away because you're not shooting a certain score at the time. It's if you want to do it.
So just going back to your talent pathway days then. So do people? So you'll release the dates, and you've said that people can email you, which is brilliant. And if you wanted to send them to me, I can put them on the website. So do we have to book in, or?
Yeah, for the to attend the talent identification day, I've got a form that you need to fill.
Brilliant.
And then you come along and shoot. We then send you the details of the program. At the foundation part of the pathways going through in the talent area, I'm afraid we do have to charge you for it. So you're helping to pay the costs of the coach. So we offer 10 sessions in the program, and they cost £30 each. But we charge you for the full lot because if you don't turn up and you don't pay £30, I can't pay the coach. We try to have 6 people working with the one coach, which pays them for the day, and then we look after the other costs from the very generous funding that we get from Sport England. And we try to make that go as far as possible. So you do have to pay, and you will pay for your consumables. So you'll probably bring your own cartridges, but you have to pay for the clays that you use.
And £30 a session, like, that's incredible, isn't it? So if people want to find out more about a British Shooting Talent Pathway, and you, if they'd like to, where do we find you online?
On the British Shooting website is the Talent Pathway. There's lots of interesting stuff on it. We write articles in, so like I'm doing this now, we write articles and things in Clay Shooter. And we're in the Field magazine, and we moved up this month. So there's a little article in that. So from time to time we drop stuff into shooting magazines, and there are blogs on our website. Each coach will have their own things that they will give you, and we follow sort of a syllabus, and you get what that syllabus is going to be when you join. So you get a little information pack when you join the talent pathway. So most of the stuff comes when you join, but there's a fair amount of
great
on the website to keep.
Yeah, and you're on Twitter, I think, at GB Shooting, and I think you're the same on Instagram as well. But your website's great, and there's obviously lots of information on there, and you have like a great, like your the British Shooting Olympic social media feeds. I was just glued to them, so lots of information and updates and stuff, which is good.
There's the ISSF as well.
Oh yeah,
Shooting Sports Federation, and they have a fantastic website too, which is all in English.
Brilliant.
Great for us.
Yeah, helps.
They've got they've got books and things on sale and all sorts of stuff that you can get into. Go and speak to one of the coaches, and then they will direct you to narrow your search down.
This has been so useful, Christian, and I'm so grateful to you for just taking some time out of your schedule to share all this. And I think it's just absolutely fascinating. And I just absolutely love it if some more of our members got involved. And I'll put all the links below. And hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah, no, it's a real pleasure. And I think the point to make to your members is that even if you're not going to make it right to the very top, you can still come along and have enormous fun. And you will improve your shooting immensely. You learn more from the other people around you as well than you probably do from the coach. It's because you develop together. So it's a great fun environment.
We love fun.
And actually, you never know. From our conversation today, we might be looking. It might be the acorn, the little seed from the giant oak of Olympic champion female in maybe not Paris, but maybe beyond there.
Yeah, well, who knows? Yeah.
So I think Tokyo's sorted itself out now, but we're certainly looking for people to be shooting in Paris. Lovely place to go.
Yeah, and not far as well, which is great. Yeah, well, hopefully it'll be one of our girls. Excellent.
Brilliant.
That's great. Thanks, Christian.
Thank you. Pleasure talking to you.
Oh, and
Thank you. Good luck with it all in the fun club.
Oh, thank you.